Well, good evening, everyone. It's Joseph here again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. It is Joseph, like I said, is from Hamilton, Canada. I am just coming on here to just share three things why passive income is very, very important to everyone. Somebody had asked me this question, I think a day or two ago, and just asking for advice about thinking about starting their business. I think it was a traditional business or even a digital business. They weren't really sure, but I just wanted to give the same sort of feedback that I mentioned to the person. So just a little about me. Again, my name is Joseph. I'm from Hamilton, Canada. I am a retired IT professional from the banking industry. I am a husband, and I have two boys, young adults who are actually on their way in their careers. Uh, One being an electrician, and the other one being in the sales department. So yeah, I wanted to mention that I am also a financial coach. I am self-taught on financial planning, retirement planning, and investment, and real estate, and also stock market. I am a digital business owner, 2 years in the making, and quite excited and quite happy with the progress so far. So yeah, so there are three things I just wanted to share what I mentioned to this person. She asked me, what are my thoughts about starting a traditional business or even a digital business. And she got talking about, passive income, right? So there are three things that comes to my mind, being a financial advocate and financial coach. Studied it pretty much quite some time. But sorry, by all means, let me just check if my feed is working. Yeah, it's working. Okay. So, yeah, just going back to the topic about passive income, why it is important for everyone. So number one, I would say it is because you don't want to trade time for money. Way back then, I 2 years ago when I retired from my corporate job, I did put in 34 years of my career in one company, which I'm very proud of. And I will say over time, I was able to build some sort of passive income in a form of a company pension, right? So for those of you who may not know what passive income means, passive income is almost the same as having a government or company pension, right? It's something that you've invested or worked for it, and in turn, it's paying you back. Sort of the same thing as dividends, right? So if you buy stocks from companies and pays out dividends, that's also another form of passive income. Okay, so yeah, so to me, the first one is really about um, you don't want to trade time for money. Working for 34 years, it took me a long, long time to build up that company pension, which eventually I will start collecting, right, in a form of passive income. So imagine, even from the government pension, right? It takes decades for you to earn a good amount of passive income. It takes decades, right? As I mentioned. So, why? One of the things that I mentioned to this lady is that look for something that would give you that passive income uh, as soon as you can, because passive income normally takes time to build. And if you look at the dividends, like I mentioned, for you to get a good payout on dividends, you need huge capital. So again, the question is, um, how much time will it take you to build that capital, right? So and that's the traditional way, right? But now these days, there are digital businesses one that I'm in, of course, biased, that provides passive income within 4, 5, 6, 7 years into the digital business, as long as you've reached that level, right? Passive income, and it keeps growing. There's the the entry level of passive income. You can say it's about 4 digits, right? 4 digits a month, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you level up in your business. So one of the things that encourages me is that this passive income is also generational wealth in our digital business. So I can pass it on to my kids, and I can pass it on to my grandchildren. I have not seen any company or any digital business, any traditional business that has this passive income. As a matter of fact, if you look at your government pension, company pension, right? When your partner or spouse passes away, the government pension in Canada will only give you, I think, 60%, right, to surviving spouse. So only 60% that's surviving spouse will get, and even on the company pension, I think it's also reduced. I'm pretty sure, because it's an election that you do for companies before you retire, right? So it is a reduced pension. So meaning the passive income will get reduced. Well, in our digital business, it doesn't get reduced. You keep the same income generationally and pass on to your children and grandchildren. So again, as I mentioned, you don't want to spend time or trade time for money, and that's the reason why it's so important to have passive income to look for it whenever you're starting a traditional or an online business. Okay. Number two, I would say, is creates financial security and peace of mind, right? Relying on one source of income is very, very risky. And I mean, this has happened to me in 2010, where, I was working in the corporate world and I got sick. I got major sickness, and it sort of sidelined me for about 11 months, which meant that I had to go to long-term disability, which meant that it impacted obviously my yearly salary. It impacted our savings, our retirement plan, kids' education, of course, right? And at that point, I said, enough is enough, right? I needed to find something that would provide me more stability and more flexibility, right? So the second point that I want to make is really it creates financial security and peace of mind, right? Again, having one source of income is very risky. And what you should be thinking about is what happens if you get ill or you lost your job, or, and you're trying to save for your retirement and obviously your investments and stuff like that. Then you have nothing to go by, right? So, and it also reduces pressure and stress. Because you don't have any money coming in, and yet you have to support and feed your family, right? So that's number two. Really, it's another important factor that you have to really, really think about in terms of generating passive income. And then third, I would say it gives you the time and freedom. So imagine you're earning passive income on a regular basis. And that's on a monthly basis, right? You can actually have more control of your life. You can actually travel. You can actually go to places while still earning passive income. And you don't have to be working in a way. If you have a digital business, yes, you work part-time while you're away on your vacation. You respond to your inquiries, you respond to questions, and you have maybe some meetings or so, quick meetings, and just to provide some support and guidance to your business partners. But I will say that the time freedom is really, really flexible, because with a digital business with passive income, you can bring it anywhere you want, anywhere you are, as long as you have a laptop and you have your cell phone and internet, and that's all you need, right? So for those people, and again, for this lady that I spoke to, I said, look for something like that. Look for something that's give you the flexibility, give you the freedom, give you the best of both worlds. You don't have to be tied up in your home to do business or to do to run your business, right? Make sure that it's fully remote, so that you don't get bogged down with you have to work in a certain location. Now these days, I know a lot of companies are asking employees to go back to work, in the office, and I know I know employers are having a hard time because people are seeing or saw that they can do their work remotely from their home, and they don't really need to be at work, right? So to me, passive income gives you more time freedom, and gives you control of your time, which gives you that flexibility. So when I looked for this digital business, I will say that I'm also blessed in a way, because when something had happened to me in 2010, back then, I tried Amazon FBA, I tried drop shipping, I tried Etsy and stuff like that, and that didn't work. And the reason why it didn't work is because it was lacking support from the community, and support from the people that really know the logistics and the process, and it's a lot of manual effort, right? On your behalf to sort of operate the business. Well, it just so happens that our digital business is fully automated as well. Everything is working in the background. All the logistics are taken care of. We don't have any inventory. We don't have any pressure sales. We don't have any quota. We don't have to bug our family and friends to sell. It's none of that, right? And even people that are non-tech savvy are able to operate this digital business. So I will say, and I said to this lady, look for something like that, because now these days these things are available, right? Especially our digital business, it is available, and I'm glad that I found it, because way back then in 2010, this was not available. Our digital business is only 10 years in the making, and I'm so glad that I did find it within its 8 year, but it just, I don't know, I was just lucky and grateful that I'm now part of this digital business, which I truly, truly believe will continue to thrive and continue to change people's lives, because of the fact that the business model, it really caters to people that are looking for time freedom and flexibility. Okay, and at the same time, you get awarded by bonuses, commissions, and the passive income. So my advice to all of you, think about your next chapter. Think about your next thing that you want to do for you, for your family, because you can be choosy, you can be picky, because you cannot be just stuck on your current job and hopefully that you will be able to build that pension plan for decades to come. Well, I just told you that you don't have to wait for decades anymore. You just have to look for the right digital business that will provide you with what I just mentioned. Passive income within 4, 5, 6 years into the business, and at the same time you're earning commission and title bonuses, right? So this digital business does exist, and as a matter of fact, we're affiliated with a company. It's been 51 years in the making. So we are affiliated with this company. They're 51 years operational, and our business model has been 10 years in operational. Okay, so for those of you who are seriously looking for something that if I can suggest, I would strongly suggest that you guys comment below, or get in touch with me, or register your name and your email in my website, www.josephyatko.com. You see it right here, right? And also you can use this QR code right here. And if you want to know more about our digital business that's changing people's lives, by all means, just connect with me. That's all really I wanted to share with you tonight. And tomorrow I'll probably come up with another topic. It is financial literacy for me, again, my other episode, my other topic. So I'll just think about another topic to share with you, maybe perhaps tomorrow. May May God bless you all. That's it for me. Until my next episode. Bye for now.